in the entire war. Over 2,500 U.S. aircraft will be shot down during the conflict.
It was always at the back of my mind that something could happen to Porter. But he felt an obligation to go. But still, I just thought, we'll get through this. I went to Queens College in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I was at a fraternity party, and I saw Porter for the first time. He was very handsome, and he asked me to dance. I fell in love with Porter. When he graduated from college, he joined the Navy and went into flight school. And so he was ordered to go to the South China Sea. I was 7.5 months pregnant when he was to leave. And I went into labor. Dabney was born early the next morning. Porter was able to stay for 5 days. I so much wanted him to be there with us as a family. But then the ship left for Vietnam. I wish I could have stopped him from going to Vietnam, but it was his duty. I definitely believed that he would be home by Christmas.
CBS News correspondent Bill Stout. The United States has reported the loss in the north of 472 planes. The Air Force names 26 men as captured, 131 missing in action.
This one morning, I was sitting in the living room, and all of a sudden, a Navy vehicle pulls up. I knew it was some kind of bad news. They came in and told me that Porter had been shot down, that he was shot down very deep into North Vietnam. That the plane had been seen to crash, explode into flames, and that Porter, they were changing his status to killed in action. The life that I thought I was going to live had been totally turned upside down. I was devastated. I had this beautiful baby daughter that will never know her father. People would always say, "You're really young, you will get over this." I didn't want to get over it. But I needed to be strong for Dabney. I was the only thing she had, the only family.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're just delighted to welcome you here on this Thanksgiving Day. We do tend to try to think of those things we should be thankful for. And we also try not to put emphasis on some of the things that perhaps bother us so much. And now I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving dinner, and we feel that you're part of our family, the American family.
By Thanksgiving Day, 1969, people really were becoming disillusioned, and they just really wanted to get home and get home in one piece.
Joan Fury has been saving lives in the Army hospital for 10 months. Frustration with the war has grown among the staff, and now there's talk of rebellion.
There was this undercurrent at the hospital that maybe we should have some kind of a protest. Some people were going to fast, and we're going to boycott the mess hall, and we weren't going to eat anything. And then all of a sudden it turned into there was going to be media there. They were looking for people to speak to the media, and I said no. But then there was a young boy. He had a really serious injury. He was 18, and he had a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the chest. He had tried to kill himself. He had gotten really very attached to him. And it was clear he wasn't going to make it. I mean, I just was like the straw that broke the camel's back. I was just so angry that it was just another useless death, and I just stormed out of there and felt I really wanted to make a statement.
I'm just fasting against any type of war or hostility that brings needless injury to innocent people all over the world, not just Vietnam, but everywhere, including the United States of America.
By then I was just so angry. I had really become more and more against the war. I didn't realize at the time that it was going to end up on broadcast on national TV across the United States. Everybody in my neighborhood saw it. My parents saw it. And they were very confused and upset about that and didn't quite understand it. I ended up writing a letter to explain to them where I was coming from. Dear Mom and Dad, 1 year ago I volunteered to come to Vietnam because I strongly believed I had an obligation to my country. But Vietnam has opened my eyes to the destruction of war. Day after day, we see our country's young men come through the doors of this hospital, many of them never to leave, and many who do will never be the same. I look up as the door opens and another patient is wheeled in and wonder, will this ever end? I fasted for an end to war. Or war. All my love, Joan. When my mother got that letter, she was so moved by it. My dad was very quiet, but he did say he was really very proud of me. When people ask me about Vietnam, I would say that it was a life-changing experience, and it's really helped me to become both a stronger person and perhaps more importantly, a better person. I really believe that.
By the end of 1969, Nixon has failed to land a knockout blow on the enemy. Millions march in the largest anti-war protest in American history. And Nixon makes a momentous decision to reduce the number of troops in the ground. It's the closest America's come so far to admitting defeat.
When I left Vietnam, I was so happy, and the last time that I saw the lieutenant, as I turned and looked back up at him, I gave him the smartest salute that I could possibly muster, the first one.
He gives me a salute, and I'm just moved for a second, and I wait, and then he looks at me, and I go,
That was the best ending I think I could have had to my tour in Vietnam. The next day I was gone.
that's the last time I saw him. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. He's just the same. Oh, I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad to see me. We are still here. Can you believe it? Whew. How about a beer? Sure. Yeah. Whew. Did you get taller? No, I got more handsome. You used to be better looking, but look at me now. Yeah. Oh, right through the core.
I know, man.
Did we do it? Were we there? Did all that?
It all happened, yeah.
We survived it?
We did survive it. We're here. People we love are with us.
In a way, it's like the opposite of going to a funeral. You know, you go to a funeral and you see somebody and it comes at you in waves. And this is certainly the opposite of a funeral, because I am so happy to see you.
I'm so happy to see you, man.
I remember you Running Brave. You know, we sang that thing?
From the halls of
Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
We will fight our boom, boom, boom country battles.
So if other Marines hear that, because as you know, when you hear it, you got to come to the position of attention. So.
As the war enters a new decade, President Nixon will take the controversial decision to carpet bomb North Vietnam. The North Vietnamese are redoubling their war effort with a new influx of artillery from their communist allies. The war is about to enter its most decisive phase.
I know that some believe that I should have ended the war immediately after the inauguration. But I would have betrayed my solemn responsibility as President of the United States if I had done so. We must recognize that peace in Vietnam cannot be achieved overnight.
Meanwhile, U.S. diplomats are exploring a potential peace deal in an effort to bring home hundreds of captured American air crews.
Atlanta, Georgia. And I still could not really believe that Porter was dead. We had held a memorial service for him. As time went on and Dabney grew up, I kind of resumed a little bit of a normal life. The group of married couples that I sort of hung out with, they introduced me to a single friend of theirs, Roger. And he was very gentle. He obviously loved Dabney. And it was just an easy relationship. I just thought, this is what my new reality is going to be. And then one day, the doorbell rings, and there are 6 men standing there. And they all show me a badge and identify themselves. And this one man, Mr. Miller, he kind of reaches out and he said, "Porter's alive."
My name is Scott Camille. I was born in Brooklyn, New York. I joined the Marine Corps while I was still in high school. And I had no idea how much war changes you. I mean, we did a lot of bad things in Vietnam. I never thought of them as humans. And I took pictures of people that I killed. I'd shoot somebody, I'd stand on their chest, I'd hold my rifle, I'd smile, someone take a picture, I'd send it home, and they'd write back, "Oh, we're so proud of you, we're so happy for what you're doing, stay safe." And then one day, my first sergeant said, "Sergeant Camille, you had enough and you're going home." I knew that I had enough, but I didn't have the courage to say that I want to go home.
CBS News. Good evening. President Nixon is due to begin his nationwide address in the East Wing of the White House. Good evening, my fellow Americans. Nothing has taken so much of my time and energy as the search for a way to bring peace to Vietnam.
opposition to the Vietnam War is growing day by day.
Never has this dissent been as intense as is the dissent against the war in Vietnam.
While the fighting continues, President Nixon is desperate to find a way out. He has started to explore a possible peace deal with the North Vietnamese. And for the first time in several years, there are more troops heading home than heading to war.
Well, I'm elated, to say the least, but at the same time, I'm surprised. We're still fighting a war. And now they're saying, well, you know, you've done your job down here and you can go home.
Among the returning soldiers are two best friends, Scott Camille and Jim Fife.
Jim and I were brothers. We did everything together. We both felt like going to Vietnam to stop communism is the American thing to do, is the right thing to do.
Scott was a very fun person to be around, in that he could enjoy and make you laugh at almost anything. When you're spending hours together every day, people become very bonded with each other. You get into a firefight and one guy saves another guy.
Like we're Marines and we're fighting for our country and we're going to win and we're going to kick ass, and the camaraderie is so strong.
I think it's a form of love. But for me, I wanted to go home. I had a family that I wanted to go home to. I had a woman I wanted to marry desperately, so I was done. For Scott, I think it was a little bit different.
While Jim Fife quits the military, heads to college, and marries his high school sweetheart, Scott Camille decides to stay in the Marine Corps. He's now serving on the streets of America, marshaling the anti-war protests.
After I came back from Vietnam, these anti-war people are having demonstrations, and I thought that they were just communist sympathizers and cowards and people who weren't willing to serve their country, and so I hated them. And I said, if one person throws a rock, if they throw a bottle, I want everybody to empty one magazine into the crowd. That's what we did in Vietnam. And so I felt that this is what I'm supposed to do. After a while, I got relieved of that duty. Now, of course, I'm really thankful for that.
America is unraveling. The Vietnam War is tearing the country apart.
The town of Kent and the Kent State campus erupted in violent demonstrations against America's involvement in Vietnam.